Hi guys, welcome to our second part of our For Sale by Owner series. We are here with the MRG Real Estate Roundtable. I want to introduce Isaac Moreno. I have Brandon, Rick Moreno himself, Aaron, Martin, and Israel, and myself, Bethany Lester. I want to go ahead and talk about, as a realtor, why would you want to go ahead and tackle a For Sale by Owner property?
For me, as a broker, the biggest reason why I would want to do it is because it's an untapped market. Really, even though it's a known market, a lot of people a lot of realtors, especially newbie realtors, aren't willing to put in the grind. They want the easy way out, and what I mean by that, I'm going to call my own industry out. They want the referrals. They want people to call them on a daily basis and say, hey, I have a property for you, or I have a house that I want to sell. Well, that's all fine and dandy if you know so many people, but the reality is, if you really want to get some easier deals, even though it's harder initially, if you want to get an untapped market, you want to tackle for sale by owner properties. It is a creative way in which you can easily get your foot in the door in a way where you're not waiting for people to just call you for a referral lead. That's one reason why you would want to tackle it. It's a market that is so on the tip of the iceberg kind of market. There's a lot of things that you could do with it.
I also think that whenever you go into a FSBO as a realtor, you have to have the mindset of serving people. If anything, this is a perfect opportunity to serve someone that needs your services.
Yes, sir.
Rather than going to another type of a seller. But like I said, they need their services, so you have to have the mindset of wanting to serve and help people.
Also, they already want to sell their home. They already have it on the market, so they're literally already wanting to sell their home. You're waiting for people to call you, maybe sell their home. These people are already ready to sell their home. They're ready to move. So why not try and get your foot in the door?
So if you guys found someone who is selling a property for sale by owner, can you guys walk us through, I guess, the process? What would you guys need to do to go ahead and take that first step?
Well, real quickly, let's backtrack and kind of teach a couple agents that it's not that hard to find a for sale by owner property. This not a matrix or some code out there, the magic formula. All you really have to do is use a computer and search. You could go on Craigslist, right, guys? You guys could go on Zillow. You could there's so many different posting sites now where people are doing that.
If you're driving by too.
Or guys, know your market. Yeah, just go ahead and drive by and start seeing the signs pop up. And at that point, you really have to do a gut check. And what I mean by a gut check is that time, the moment that you pick up the phone, the moment that you go ahead and knock on their door, that's where you're going to reveal your true salesmanship as you're going along through that process. So the first thing is figuring out, develop your list and figure out when you're going to go in and tackle these properties, whether it be through phone or through door knocking, or sending them materials and whatnot.
I think also an untapped market is in your own neighborhood. I think we just forget about all that. We walk down the street, we drive down the street, there's listings for sale by owners, and we don't ever go up and talk to them. Why? Who knows? I think that's probably the easiest way to just get started, because ultimately not a lot of realtors have a sales background. So developing your personality, trying to overcome objections, being told no, that's only going to allow you to get better. When you do speak to a for sale by owner, it's going to help you with your business, and it's really going to impact you in a positive way if you're able to go and develop your salesmanship, like Rick spoke about. Just going to talk to for sale by owners in your own neighborhood. You don't need a car, you can just walk up to the door. So
save everyone some time. You are going to get rejected. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of if you're going to keep.
Why do you think that's important, Isaac? Why do you think that's important to practice that?
Because you're going to be familiar now with it, how to object to that. So a lot of people are shy, and I know everyone. It's tough to just go on and knocking on doors and say, hey, I want to sell your home. If you don't, because you got to take the commission aside and really, like Israel said, it's really serving. How can you actually help them? And is it going to save them time and eventually money, because if you're going to have it on the market for a long time. So don't be afraid of getting rejected, because it's going to happen, and that's going to only mold you and just make you a greater realtor, and then talk better to clients and potential clients.
And I don't know if you guys have heard just like the approach that some agents use. They like to go in to knock on the for sale by owner call, tell them, and just make up some story that there's a buyer they're interested in. See the home, and they can scope it out just to see what's out there, just to kind of play the little game, I guess you can say. And then it turns out they're just going in there just to try to get the deal. And
they see right through it.
Yeah, they can catch right onto it. So what happens is they build that distrust with an agent, and that's a bigger reason why they want to do it by themselves. So it's important for them to not go that route and to practice a script, have a script ready, and for them to be ready to build a callus of door knocking or going in there and being able to be rejected, because all those rejections can be a positive by building a callus, so that the next time you go in there, it's like nothing. It's just a routine.
And who knows? Maybe in 3 months from that point when you knocked on the door and you give them this business card, maybe they kept it and they said, you know what, Israel? Yeah, you have a good point. I can't sell it. Let me give you a call. So it just really, really be prepared for the rejection. But don't give up.
Yeah, what if you knock on that door of that seller that's been trying to sell it for 3 months, 4 months? They're ready to maybe go with a realtor. They just don't know who. So you're there at the door, you knock, and hopefully you get it. So you never know.
There's a cool little. Go ahead, Instagram. Go ahead.
I think a great way, whether you're knocking on the door or making phone calls, a great way to get in and start that dialogue is to ask the seller or let them know, I work with a lot of buyers and sellers in your area, and I see you have your house listed. I want to know what I can do to help you get that house listed.
Absolutely.
Don't make it necessarily so much about, I have to get this listing.
Yeah.
Actually be concerned, hear what they have to say, open that dialogue. Don't come off so, can I come and see your house? I'd love to be a realtor. Or, ask them, what can I do to help you get your house?
Absolutely. It's all about presenting value. If you're confident in yourself and you're really a good person, you generally want to serve these people, you offer value every time you can secure those sellers as potential clients.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think that's what we do as a group that helps us, tremendously, is because we actually care about people. We're very empathetic for them being in certain situations. They just haven't found the right person to represent them. And ultimately, it goes back to what Israel was saying, it's just being salesy. Ultimately, you have to close though. You have to close and you have to develop, your salesmanship. But when you offer so much value to a person, it's very easy for them to sit here and be like, okay, I want you to help me. So
One of the reasons why I love being a mentor to a lot of these individuals who are going to be in real estate is I just want my team to nitpick my listing presentation. I want my team to come and examine how I close and how I get rejected. It develops, like Israel saying, a callus. And all of you guys have gone to some of my listing presentations, and each and every single one of them, depending if it's a for sale by owner or regular listing, is so different. And the empathy level stays the same though.
Yeah.
You still have to show them care, you still have to show them a trust factor, but you still have to figure out, I still have to be able to close. At the end of the day, you're there to close, but in a way that they feel it's a win-win situation for all parties involved. We're gonna give you this business, Brandon, but damn, you rocked it and you made me feel like I'm putting my house in the best hands possible.
Exactly.
And so that's probably the biggest thing. How do you develop that closing mentality, but also scale it back where they feel that what you're trying to do is service them. So
I think, just one real quick, a nice little technique that I was talking to Marty about earlier this week is whenever you have an open house, it's a perfect opportunity to go to FSBOs.
Yes.
And just invite them. If you just do a certain radius and go up to them and just tell them, hey, we have an open house. We'd like to invite the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. And then just kind of, you've been studying the market, so you know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, and then at the end, you can just say, by the way, I know that your home is for sale. And they can kind of see what extremes you go to, so that you can market their home and get.
yeah, this guy's an open house and he's walking the neighborhood before the open house, and he's that committed to that open house, regardless if he gets a buyer for that respective open house or not. He's putting traction on that neighborhood, and that resonates with value. Absolutely.
And if you put together a great product, they're more than likely going to want to go compare. Okay, what is this home listed at? Let me go see what this home offers compared to mine. They walk into that house, you put together a great product. Ultimately, you're already closed. That's it.
Yeah.
So then the first step would be pretty much to swallow your
pride.
fear
Interfere,
and
yeah.
your pride and go up to them personally.
Go talk to the girl that is across the hallway from you in high school dance and get rejected.
That's way better looking than you.
Get rejected often. It develops a sense of like, you're not as good as you think. How do I develop my game? How do I figure a way out to provide value to the person that's selling that property?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. One of the first things I did when I joined this company was I went with all these guys and we went and knocked on FSBOs. We got here in the morning, we did our thing, and we left. We knocked on FSBOs. That's one of the first things I did, and it humbled me that these guys, you know, they've been in this business for a long time and they're still out there putting foot on the floor and they're knocking on doors, you know. So why can't I do that? Why wouldn't I do that?
Absolutely.
So I mean, they taught me something.
For especially a broker, it's not a sexy thing. It's not like a broker knocking on doors. Oh, I don't have to do that. I'm sorry. For me, if there's an untapped market, I'm gonna figure out a way to outwork someone by tackling a for sale by owner property. And guess what? A lot of these for sale by owner properties are really nice. And so why not go about and doing it that way? And more often than not, it may lead to a double close. You guys are shortchanging yourself if you're just limiting yourself to a certain segment, like new builder construction or the traditional resales. There's for sale by owner properties is a great way for a young realtor, I mean even an experienced realtor, to really a lot of the stuff that we do, it doesn't even hit the MLS. They're off market deals. We don't even put them on the MLS because they're through for sale by owners. They double close, they call it, they move on to the next property. So we don't really necessarily care about our MLS data. We're caring about, are we going in a way that we could help serve our clients and then find properties that maybe a lot of people aren't really tapping into. So.
Yeah, I think it just becomes systematic by sticking to the fundamentals. So you create that foundation, you're building your salesmanship, but you're also serving other people. And as realtors and everybody else is getting caught up with social media, they want to build rapport with clientele through there. We forget about the people that are right out there trying to sell their homes. When we're trying to build new business on people who maybe not be ready to buy a new home or sell a home. So I think just sticking to the basics and the fundamentals, I mean, that's gonna bring so much business to you. But like I said, we're just so caught up in trying to serve ourselves rather than the actual people who want to sell their homes.
Well, thank you for joining us, guys, for sale by owners series. Stay tuned, and we look forward to bringing you on board.
See you at the top.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.